care and caresses and treats for his bride. How the first wedding night of the Arabs goes. Greetings! Today, we're going to talk about how the first wedding night of the Arabs and what to pay special attention to. You will learn about the tricks that newlyweds resort to if they are shy in bed. Why Arab girls in most cases are so afraid of the first privacy with their spouse, and what is the so-called body fear syndrome. How a groom deals with his bride if she turns out to be undevoted. Be sure to watch the video to the very end so you don't miss all the important points. Wedding ceremony and preparation for the important event. As you can guess, almost every wedding night is accompanied by a wedding ceremony. In Arab countries, this practice is no exception. It is here that newlyweds prepare in advance and follow several traditions. Let's talk about them in more detail. The first thing to pay attention to is the preparation of costumes for the bride and groom. Especially in this regard are elegant and luxurious wedding dresses for Arab girls. They are decorated with gold and jewelry. Among other things, the couple should smell nice. For this purpose are used all kinds of essential oils with the addition of fragrant aromas. In general, young spouses look just great. Of course, before the first wedding night is the preparation and a place for joint privacy. It is about the bedroom of the bride and groom. The room is decorated and creates a special atmosphere. Arabs also adhere to important rules, some of which are based on the sacred writings of Islam. First of all, there should not be a Quran book in the bedroom. If for one reason or another it was not removed, the Arabs cover the object with a cloth. Secondly, before the seclusion of the newlyweds, absolutely everyone present is obliged to leave the room. Pets are not even allowed in the room. In addition, it is forbidden to be outside the door and eavesdrop on what the bride and groom are doing. By the way, the presence of relatives in front of the door to the room is common in African countries. But in the Arab states, it is unacceptable. Thirdly, the light in the bedroom is dimmed. Otherwise, the newlyweds in bright light will see each other in full glory, and therefore will be shy. To avoid this ailment, in the room are used special nightlights or lamps with dim lighting. Did you know that before the wedding ceremony, many newlyweds and do not know each other at all? In some cases, they know each other only partially. This phenomenon is due to the fact that Arabs are cultured, cautious, and prudent people. They certainly will not publicize all the details of their personal life, and not only. So it is in the period of marriage and the onset of the first wedding night, newlyweds are not so much secluded as to get to know each other better. Before the privacy between the bride and groom takes place. Here, we are getting to the most important and responsible moment. Preparation for the first wedding night of newlyweds is truly a beautiful phenomenon. It is characterized by features that are hardly practiced in other countries of the world. Let's deal with it in order. First, according to established traditions, the groom should treat his beloved with a variety of viands. On the table in the obligatory order are sweets, fresh fruit, as well as honey. Arabs have long considered this approach the most favorable for a girl who is destined to part with parents, friends, and acquaintances. And in order that the separation and entry into adulthood did not happen so sadly, the bride should enjoy all that the groom provides her. As they say, the real honeymoon. After the treats, the Arabs follow the prayer. Actually, newlyweds are obliged to pray before the first wedding night. During the prayer, the future husband touches the forehead of the girl with his hand. After that, the man asks Allah to bless the couple, strengthen their marriage union, and bestow the main happiness in the house, children. Finally, the newlyweds pray together and turn to Allah. This is the way the couple relieves stress and excitement and sets themselves up for a positive attitude before the first night's seclusion. Arab girls are known to be not only anxious, but also fearful during their first seclusion with the groom. This fear of the female gender is due to the fact that most brides are virgins before their first wedding night. Basically, it all comes down to physiological features rather than the spiritual component. This is the so-called body fear syndrome. But how to get rid of such fear at such a crucial moment? In this case, it is the groom who comes to the rescue. To do this, the man bestows his spouse with care, caresses, and his own attention. His main task is to predispose the bride to himself in such a way that she gets used to the man and is subsequently satisfied. It is important to create a favorable and warm atmosphere. As you may have already noticed, it is at the moment of joint seclusion that future spouses get to know each other better. They have a sincere dialogue and tune into a positive mood. However, if something goes wrong and the bride will not be ready for bodily intimacy, the first wedding night newlyweds have the right to postpone. This, by the way, is the rule prescribed by Islam. And if the spouses are still set on a positive way, they are certainly provided with a favorable privacy. The first wedding night of the spouses. As we said earlier, care and caresses play a huge role in the life of a new couple. Neglect them clearly should not be neglected. The man should pay special attention to this issue and try so that the girl not only reciprocated, but also tuned exclusively to positive emotions. The next important moment is the removal of outer clothing. According to the laws of Islam, the groom is forbidden to remove clothes from his spouse. In addition, his gaze should not be directed and concentrated on a woman's body. Otherwise, it may cause embarrassment to the girl. Awkward moments are clearly not needed here. The best solution is to prepare a screen in the bedroom where the wife can undress herself and go out in underwear. And of course, do not forget about the dim light in the room. It will reduce the degree of excitement and each of the spouses. During the period of seclusion, the bride is forbidden to ignore and neglect the actions of the man. She must reciprocate fully. Indifferent attitude in the first wedding night is unacceptable. This is one of the main rules for joint privacy. And of course, according to religious considerations, the first wedding night of Arab newlyweds can be postponed. As you already know, one of these conditions is the moral unpreparedness of the bride. But there are a few other points. The first of them is the girl's menstrual cycle, which coincided with the date of the first wedding night. In Islam, it is prescribed that intimacy between people during the period of critical days is strictly forbidden. And the second condition is that the bride is not virgin. In case the groom finds out this circumstance, he has every right to return the girl to her relatives. However, there are exceptions. Men are ready to forgive the future spouse. But if the groom puts chastity in the first place, then the fate of the bride is predetermined. She returns home to her relatives and friends.